Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Things.
And we're back, man. Episode 395.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get right into it. Recently, I didn't even realize it. Keith likes to keep things under wraps. And he finally told me that he was in jury duty. Mm-hmm. And, go ahead and give them, I guess, a synopsis of what you experienced in that jury duty, that case there.
Yeah. So, you know how it is. They call you. Now it's a little different. Like, you just call the weekend before, and they basically tell you because it's all randomized. It's like a computer, you know, algorithm or whatever. It's all randomized. So you call the weekend before, and then they tell you if you need to come in on that Monday. And then, you know, when you actually get put on a case, like for me, I just wanted to maintain the integrity of the case, you know, just because that's you know, and also there's no reason to just talk about it, you know.
Right.
And the trials are not super long anyways. So I got put on a trial. Basically, the dude was accused of murder. And it was a situation. I'm gonna go into like all the details of the situation, but he got caught in a situation. He was already like a 4-time felon or something like that. And I was just an alternate on the case. I actually wasn't like one of the actual 12 jurors that was like in the actual thing. I was just one of the 3 alternates just in case somebody got sick or whatever. But It was like super interesting, like just being in that space. And you could learn a lot just from being in those spaces. One thing one of the dudes asked me, because, you know, you have to put down what you do for a living and things like that. They have like a questionnaire for you. So one of the lawyers, they asked me, they was like, hey, I heard you know, you want to be, you know, you're an aspiring filmmaker and stuff like that. So like, what type of things do you make? Like, what type of movies do you make? I was like, well, I do like comedy and like science fiction, like superhero stuff, things like that. He was like, oh, that's cool. He was like, are you kind of using this as a way to like make a movie about it or whatever? And I was like, nah. I was like, you know, I'm here, like I'm really.
You're not that interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
Oh,
but
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them.
No, I'm saying it is.
Oh, wow.
All that stuff is interesting. But I was just, you know, I was like, dog, I'm here to do my what do you call the civil duties or my civic duties or whatever. You know, I'm not like throwing a case because I want to make a movie about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, I'm just here to do my job or whatever. So eventually I got put on I didn't get picked, but I got put as an alternate. And then the alternates have to sit through the whole trial. So my biggest takeaway is that you never want to put your freedom in someone else's hands. You know what I mean? I think that when I looked at that case, it was a situation where the defense was saying self-defense and the DA was saying that it was first-degree murder, you know, and that could get really tricky. But when you're talking about the jury, you know, you got to think, they say it's a jury of your peers and it's all randomized. So I don't really have any reservations about the way that they pick them. But the thing about it is, like, none of us are criminals. You can't be on a jury if you have a felony. You know what I mean? So if you are somebody, you like a former gang member, and you get up there, you got tattoos on your face, you got tattoos on your hands and your fingers and all this other stuff, and you got like a whole gang pass and everything like that, and you get up there and you think that those people are not going to judge you for the way that you look, you know, whether you a black dude, Mexican dude, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, all of that stuff psychologically plays a role. Even though the way that the judge describes it, we should not take those things into consideration. You know what I mean? We should just look at the facts of the situation and then judge it based off of that. So whatever happened, the trial goes on for about a week, maybe, like a week and a half. And then they send us home as alternates. And then I get a call, like the first day, they just call me and update me, like to say if they either need me or if they're still deliberating or if they've reached a verdict. So they send us home, and then the next day, they send us home, and then they start deliberating that day. So we got dismissed like maybe shortly after lunch. And then they was like, hey, the trial's still going on, whatever. And then the next day comes and then they deliberate the whole day. And then they gave me a call at the end of the day again. And they say like, hey, the trial's still ongoing. And I was like, yeah, that's to be expected. Because when I was sitting there, I was like, this could be like interpreted different ways.
Yeah.
And then the third day, they called me at the end of the day and they was like, hey, they reached a verdict. The man is guilty on all charges with all the enhancements and stuff like that. And when I was sitting in the trial, I was like, there is a version of it where he's not guilty. There's a version of it where, he took the stand and the story that he told was actually legit, like that he was trying
Add those
to.
small details in where they were behind that.
Yeah. So essentially what happened was there's two people there. I won't tell you like the backstory, but I'll just tell you what actually was shown on video. There's two people. They're walking down the street. They're in Bakersfield, and then they're tucked behind, like they end up on surveillance footage. They end up behind a menu, like a menu at a drive-through, like restaurant or whatever. They're back behind the menu. All you see is a white shirt kind of poke out the back a little bit, and then it kind of goes back behind the menu, and then two people disperse, which we later find one of those people is dying. He's bleeding out through his neck, and then the other person just ran away. But then they backtrack it and you can see tattoos on the person. And then they finally were able to identify who this person was through, the process of elimination. So that's the thing. Like this guy got convicted when we, as the jury, didn't see the murder. So we don't know if it was self-defense or not. But because of who he was, criminal history, the way the DA was able to, and the DA is a white man. You know what I mean? Like he's up there and he's painting him this way, like, oh, you just trying to keep yourself out of jail or prison. You don't want to go back to prison. This is what you do. Like, he's painting them as this person that's not, he's lying because he wants to keep himself out of prison.
Yeah, you already lost at that point.
And then, yeah, it's a wrap. And even though, like I was saying before, even though we have the jury is, randomly selected or whatever the case may be. And these are people that are technically the same ethnicity as this man.
Yeah.
But they live completely different lives.
Absolutely.
These are teachers. These are, principals. These are people that are college students and stuff, getting their degrees in different situations. So they're like they don't involve themselves with criminal activity. So they're not looking at this person like, I'm giving empathy or sympathy for somebody that's my same ethnicity. They looking at this person like you made a stupid decision and you continue to.
Yeah, they say that it's a jury of your peers, but it's really not, because the jury is full of law-abiding citizens. Mm-hmm. And what happens is when you have a criminal history and you do some shit like that, first of all, this is going to sound terrible to say this, but for most people, we are too poor to be committing crimes. If you do not have
100%.
If you don't have the money to defend yourself in court, you are fucked. Now, maybe if that guy had somebody to go in there pro bono and be like, hey, well, we can't physically see what happened. We don't know if it's self-defense or not. How do we know that if we don't have the visual evidence? They just went on his priors and used his actual criminal history and, who he was. Basically, the guy's past worked against him.
You know when I knew it was a wrap? After they rest their case, the judge reads it. It's like dumb long. It's like maybe a few pages of just stuff she's reading through. And one of the things she said, and I'm paraphrasing, one of the things she said is that understand that like when a felon takes a stand, the things that he says is not to be considered facts.
Damn.
They're to be considered a point of view. And she also said, like, it's okay to take into consideration that this person is a felon. And understand that sometimes felons will do anything anything they can to keep themselves out of jail or prison. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, dang, yeah. Like, no matter whatever he said up there, it don't even matter because you coming at it, in a situation where.
I think that here's the thing. If he had better, if he had money to defend himself in court, right? I think that things could have been a little bit different, but also too, people that actually are doing well for themselves aren't going to be in that type of scenario.
Yeah, it's not even a situation.
It's not even a situation.
The only thing I would say, like, say if it's me or you, right? Say we do the podcast and we finish, like movie type situation. We walk outside and somebody's like, somebody is at the door laid out, and for whatever reason, maybe our fingerprints is on the door, or we got blood on our shoes and something like that, and then the police come and then they arrest us, and mind you, a lot of these situations happen like before surveillance footage and stuff. But whatever the case, let's just create the scenario. We get arrested and we just sitting in jail, and then we got more like
leverage
people that know who we are. Like, nah, that's not their character. Our parents and, our siblings and things like that, they like, nah, I could vouch for them. They every Sunday they do their podcast and, they go home. This person, he don't carry his weapon on him, whatever the case may be, like just people to vouch for us. Yeah. I feel like there would be some lawyer, like was it Benjamin Crump type situation where he would come out and be like, Eddie and Keith are good people, and, he would fight for us. But when you, like you said, when you don't have no money and you also do criminal activity, you got, criminal behaviors, you setting yourself up for failure. Because a decent lawyer, I feel like, would have been able to poke holes in the DA's
Absolutely. Could have been like a hung jury or something.
And they would have been in there like really questioning what's going on. They would have had more supporting evidence. But when you just got a public defender, and I'm not going to say like, I know that public defenders get a bad reputation. I think systematically, there's definitely something wrong with the public defender, because you do get representation, but you get like less resources than the DA is going to have.
The public defender just offers deals.
The DA is going to be able to run in there. They got the endless resources to interview people, subpoena people, all these type of people, set up time to interview people. The public defender might have 3 or 4 people that he fighting with, and probably like 75% of them actually committed the crime. Yeah, and then they just like, dog, my hands are tied behind my back. But I give respect to this person because he was actually fighting. Like, I can see he was actually in it. I think he was dealt a bad hand in terms of like what he was, what the actual facts were. And I feel like he did a decent job of trying to, present his side of the argument and to try to get him out. But also, like, if it was like one of them Jewish lawyers that, you pay on a retainer and stuff like that, like he might have had a different situation. But overall, I just say, like, for myself and anybody out there, and I know most of us don't really need to hear this, but you just don't want to put your freedom into somebody else's hands, because all of the things are going to be taken into consideration. Even for myself, if I'm driving down the street, and I don't do none of this anyways, but if I got weed blowing out the window, I got my windows tinted, I'm playing loud music and stuff like that, I got dreads, all these different things. I understand like how perception works.
Absolutely.
No matter if like it's not how it's supposed to be or whatever, I understand that there are biases everybody has. So I'm not even going to put myself in a situation where the biases need to be taken into consideration.
I'm not going to give you a chance. Yeah. I'll say this too. I think that the way you are as a person is like a credit score. Like, people talk about like a FICO, right? You can fix your credit, by going in and, taking certain things off of it and paying towards stuff and trying not to go to collections. But once you fuck your reputation up, you're fucked for life. You are fucked. Like, the thing about it too is, I feel like if something like that was to happen, like me or Keith, there'd be a lot of character letters. You have listeners like, hey, we listen to Keith and Eddie every week. Boom, 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 boom. Like, there would be people and also we don't have criminal records. So if we were in court, we would have the benefit of the doubt. Right. And I think that that's a great place to start in our judicial system. You can get a slap on the wrist, but but first of all, I don't want a slap on the wrist. If I'm innocent, I want all charges dropped and to be acquitted of whatever you're trying to accuse me of. Right. And also, I'll say this too. Like you just said, the dreads and, the weed and, people have a perception problem. I'm not going to give anybody a reason for me, like, to be arrested or in trouble at all simply because like I know what that's like, especially as a black person, whether you black or brown. Now we can sit here and act like it doesn't matter what race you are. If you shouldn't be getting in trouble. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, there is a world that exists that refutes everything you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay, it's irrefutable that there is a bias that like a black man is 4 times likely to go to get a longer sentence for the same exact crime, right? So these are real statistics. So stay the fuck out of prison.
Yes.
Just don't get in any legal trouble. You do that, you fuck yourself up. Also, make sure you keep your license clean. So many of you guys, you may not have a criminal record, but your license looks like shit. You get in multiple accidents a year. Whatever. I think that what happens too is there are certain jobs that look at your driving record and they will deny you. Like if you're trying to get your CDL and you got all kind of points, you're not going to get a CDL. If you want to become a police officer, they consider your driver record as well. So whatever you do, keep those things clean, and also don't do drugs, please. This guy that did that shooting, man, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison now because he fucked it off. But
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, this is what I was gonna say too. Also, if you were actually intelligent, you wouldn't be committing these crimes. But if you don't have any type of law background, you really don't want to commit crimes because you don't have the power to defend yourself.
Right.
If you're relying on a public defender, he's just going to offer you a deal. You're not going to be able to get free from whatever you're dealing with. Now, a case that should be mentioned on like a...
Before you go there, just to show you the power of what that looks like, Diddy beat a federal indictment.
Yep.
The RICO charges and the lawyers, and I'm sure he paid millions and millions of dollars to have his lawyers in there fighting for him.
Yeah.
And obviously he got, he was guilty of the prostitution charges. But those RICO charges and the sex trafficking and all that other stuff, he was able to beat those charges. So that just shows you the power of the money.
Yeah. Well, the way the judicial system works is it's not equal. And it's set up that way as well, because I think a lot of people that are politicians or people who commit white collar crimes, there's so many nuances that there's so many like avenues they can use to defend themselves. And, the law is so deep that a person that has the education is going to require you to pay them a certain rate per hour.
For sure.
And the only way you can get those services is if you got that bread.
Money. Yeah.
Now, here's a story that should be like literally known in schools, but Tupac's mother, Afeni Shakur, she famously defended herself in the 1970 Panther 21 trial after being charged with conspiracy to bomb public spaces. While pregnant with her son Tupac and lacking legal training, she successfully proved that undercover police agents had largely orchestrated the alleged plots, leading to the acquittal of all defendants on 156 counts. Her self-defense is remembered as a brilliant legal and political victory that exposed police infiltration and helped exonerate her and her fellow Black Panthers.
Yeah.
So if you don't have... Now, Afeni Shakur did not have like some vast background in law, but she was intelligent enough to get herself exonerated. You are not Afeni Shakur, nigga. Don't commit crimes.
100%, dog. And you have to be really intelligent, because if you can't articulate... There was a couple times in there, bro. Like, and the dude is... He like a little rough around the edges, so he don't really articulate himself that well. And mind you, we all in there. There's teachers in there. It's just different. It was probably like 4 teachers on the thing.
Okay.
Maybe even more than that. And then college students and stuff like that. And some of them I didn't really know what they did for a living. But when you go in there and you kind of got a little slang, or you can't really you don't really speak that well. There was a couple times where the recorder, like the lady recording all the conversations in the thing, she was like, can you repeat that? And he did it a couple times and she couldn't really understand what he was saying sometimes. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's like something as simple as that. Like all of that psychological stuff is going into people's perception of who you are. And yeah, it's a wrap. So
yeah, man. And that's what I understand too, is a lot of people that end up going to prison, they're the same kids that wouldn't settle down in class. They're the same kids that wouldn't stop cutting off the teacher when she talked. And instead of going to timeout, those kids get older and they go to prison.
Right.
They never learn to respect authority or any type of rules or laws. And I know quite a few people I went to school with in prison doing serious time.
Yeah.
And I could look back, and mind you, I don't want to take them being a kid and use it against them. However, the scary part is when you're a kid and then you get older and you are still you don't see an issue with replicating those behaviors as an adult.
Right.
You know, like you think that like if you're broke, you like, man, I'll punch that person, I'll punch them in the face and take their wallet because I need to get paid, bro. It's like your logic is that I need to steal from this person because I'm broke. When in actuality, you're not considering the amount of time you're going to do in prison. Because especially if you assault a law-abiding citizen, they're going to press charges. Yeah. And now you're done. I had a friend, we were good friends in high school. He ended up getting over a decade because he shot somebody in the leg. It was an armed robbery. And I was like, bro, you know, I couldn't believe he had did that. But he got some serious, I think he did over 10 years for that. He lucky he only got that. And when I had a conversation with him, he just sounded institutionalized. Our lives were completely different. Like we didn't have nothing. We didn't have no common ground. The only thing we could do is have reflective conversations. Yeah, you remember back when we was in the cafeteria, man, and we was and it's like, yeah, that's literally all we had.
Yeah, I remember there was and I feel like life is like, obviously movies are like based off of reality a lot of times, but there was a situation with one of my friends who ended up going to prison. He's like one of my best friends in elementary school. I seen him when I was leaving BC, and it was like this semester before I transferred to New Mexico State, and I seen him in the parking lot, and he was sitting in the car. And he was sitting in the car. It was kind of weird. He was sitting in the car, and then there was another dude by him that was just counting like money. He probably had like a stack of $100 bills.
Damn.
He was just sifting through the money. And I seen him in the car, or he might have called me or whatever. I don't know how it happened, but I went over there. I was like, "Oh, what's up, man? How you doing?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm good, man." And then, we just chopped it up a little bit, same sort of thing. Like, "Oh, man, like, how you, whatever." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to go to, New Mexico State and, go get finish going to school and stuff like that." He's like, "Oh, that's what's up." And then he was like, "Hey, man, like you be going out, like you be hitting the clubs downtown?" And I was like, "No, not really, man." He was like, "Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Like, you be smoking? Like, you smoke weed?" I was like, no, not really. I don't really smoke like that." And he asked me like 2 or 3 more questions about like, a particular like kind of lifestyle. And
Just
I was like, "No, I don't do it." And like you said, that's the moment where I realized like we don't really have nothing in common.
Yeah, we don't have anything. And that's okay. I think that sometimes as friends, you don't grow apart. You just go in separate directions. And it's like, nigga, I can't be around you because the things that you're doing, they jeopardize my freedom. Like if you're selling drugs, I'm not even gonna there's nothing for us to talk about. And also like, oh shit, I'm gonna come sweep you up, man. Let's hang out, bro. I'm gonna come pick you up. No, you're not gonna pick me up.
Yeah.
Because if we get pulled over and you got dope and guns in the car, now I'm affiliated with it, and you're gonna expect me not to talk, and I'm gonna snitch on you.
And not to mention the other people that want you dead or whatever the case may be. That put your whole life in jeopardy as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard me. I will snitch on you.
Yeah,
I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, hey, I don't know. I haven't seen this guy in years. We was friends back in the day. I didn't know what he was into, but that's his dope, his guns, all of that shit. And I'm pissed off that he had me in this situation in the first place.
Right.
But what about in his mind if he's rationalizing like, man, he better not snitch on me, man. Like, I don't. Eddie better not snitch on me, nigga. I'm snitching.
Yeah, but most of that stuff is a street code. So it
I'm a
generally
pedestrian.
It generally only applies to like people that's doing criminal
dog,
stuff.
I still think people have an expectation for you not to tell on them if you do get arrested or something. I'm not doing any prison time. There's no women in prison. Okay, I like women. Okay, I don't understand why. First of all, if you don't have to take all these chances like to get in trouble, that's weird. Because if you like being around men like that, I'm gonna think something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I can't be around all that testosterone 24/7. That's weird. Yeah, some dudes be like happy. There are people that literally, it seems like they have more fun in prison than they do in the real world. It's crazy.
Yeah, probably because they like guys.
Probably like guys. Mm-hmm. All right, let's switch gears. Then once you start talking about liking guys, we got to get out of here. Switching gears. California bill targeting loud streaming ads. So I guess Gavin Newsom's trying to crack down on these loud ass motherfucking ads. California bill targeting loud streaming ads signed into law by Governor Newsom. Believe it or not, an 8-month-old sleep schedule is what led to the face-off between California lawmakers and the entertainment industry over loud commercials on streaming services. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Senate Bill 576 into law this week. The bill, introduced by State Senator Tom Umberg, prohibits Netflix, Prime Video, and other streamers from blasting commercial volume way above level of whatever show or movie you're watching in California. The mission began when Zach and Rachel Keller were doing what new parents do, settling to watch after finally getting their daughter Samantha down for the night. That is when a blaring commercial abruptly ended their moment of peace, waking Samantha again. A lot of times we have the volume so low that we just read the subtitles running, and still the commercial ad volumes are so ear-piercing that it wakes her up, Rachel Keller said. So, I mean...
You're exaggerating, bro.
I mean, I believe it. I'm be honest. Because
ear-piercing? Come on, dog.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it doesn't need to be ear-piercing, when there's a newborn. I'm
just saying I'm saying what they said. Ear piercing seems like a little bit of exaggeration.
Well, I will say this as a millennial, and to all the millennials listening, because I seen the analytics. We got a lot of millennials that listen to this podcast. We grew up when we dozed off and fell asleep. We woke up to a loud ass infomercial. Slap job. Do you want to slap your vegetables? You be like, God damn! I just had this shit low as fuck, and now this shit is blaring. Or it'll be, you remember that one with that black pastor?
Yeah.
And you'd be sleeping stop crying about what the Lord is doing. You're like, oh my God. So yes, they do that shit intentionally. They do that intentionally. I don't know why, but they're loud.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started. Even porn is bad. Them ads be loud as a motherfucker. Do you want to fuck single moms in your area? Damn. Are you tired of jacking off? You're like, bro, this shit is too fucking loud.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
No, I get it. I think that this is a thing that I've noticed years ago, that on TV, of course, but definitely transitioning into a lot of these social media and online ads.
Right.
It was just as bad, if not worse. You could be watching a YouTube video. It could be Kai Cenat or something like that. And then, the ad would come on and it's blaring. So I'm glad that they are doing something about this, because a lot of times, it's situations like that. If you watching your daughter or whatever is napping, or your son is napping, and you just got the TV on, watching a TV show or something like that, then the commercials come on and it's way louder. It's just unnecessary. That easy how it is. If you were to fall asleep, if somebody's falling asleep to the podcast, right, and we're talking and we're kind of at this kind of constant level, and then all of a sudden just bass and heavy music start blaring, and it might wake you up, because it's, I don't know, your brain or the way the frequencies is kind of, and the decibels is kind of going, it's kind of just turning into background noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm glad that they are doing something about this. It seems like a California thing, but hopefully they make it more of a national thing, because it's just it's like a very simple thing, but it actually means a lot, when it comes to just our livelihood. Sometimes too, it could just be an audible thing, you listening to something, at a decent level, and you just want to protect your ears, and then all of a sudden something is blaring and it's a little louder than you expected, and you kind of damaging your ears and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, shout out to him for doing something. I'm looking at the popular infomercials that popped up from back in the day. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Sweating to the Oldies was a popular one. OxyClean. Mm-hmm. And that dude was loud as hell. George P90X.
P90X, I remember.
The clapper. Clap on. Clap
lights.
off. Clap on. Clap off. The clapper. That shit was loud as fuck too.
Yeah.
I'm like 9 years old waking up like, oh shit. That and what was another one here? The Magic Bullet was loud as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Snuggie, Thigh Master.
I remember Thigh Master.
Yeah.
People was getting rich off of these. They was hitting licks. That's what I was
Oh
saying.
man. And the thing about
Thigh
it,
Master, just a little thing like that.
yeah. And then what will really get people too is like, if you call right now within the next 15 minutes, we'll get a special deal on the blah, blah, blah. Call 1-800-555. And then like at the very end, you know, they finna kill you because they going to have like they speed up like the warnings or whatever. They're like, Ohio. And it's like, don't buy that
Only
shit.
available in certain states. And go to Vermont, California, and New Mexico.
Yeah. Please keep this. Keep sharp objects away from your penis. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. I think, they got to do that. You know, another thing they need to work on, I'm talking about everywhere, they need to make sure all of us have the same type of light bulbs in our cars. Because it's hypocritical because I upgraded my truck headlights to halogens and my shit's bright as fuck, right? But I be having people like flicking me up, they high beams telling me to turn it down, and then I flip the other ones and they're like, oh fuck, man. Some people when I'm driving behind them, they just drive off because they get tired of it. But yeah, they might need to pass a law where we all have the same like.
So, do you have your high beams on, or it's just your regular?
This is my
lights?
regular lights. They're just halogen.
Yeah.
You know, so they're really bright.
That's really bright. Some of that stuff is a little obnoxious. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen yours, but some of the newer trucks.
Oh goddamn, they're horrible.
First of all, they sit so high, and then they're LED lights.
Yes,
and then they just super bright, and it makes sense like for you to see as a driver, so you can see the road, which is dope. But like oncoming traffic, and like you said, if somebody's behind you, they just blowing out your rearview mirrors and stuff like that. So yeah, it's
like the way it's so bright. I feel like it. I can feel the heat from the lights, man.
Yeah,
like goddamn,
thinking you entering heaven's gates. You
know,
people driving behind you.
Like you be watching TV. No, you'll be. Nah, I was mentioning earlier the freaking porn ads. It'll be the volume down because you want to have respect, you know, for your people around, maybe the neighbors or something. And all of a sudden, do you want to fuck single moms in your area? It's like, god damn.
Yeah, you don't want the porn on surround sound when you got, you know.
That'd be crazy. You got that hooked up to surround sound. That's crazy. Just all you hear is all the
claps.
All the bass in the background. Oh, man.
That's comedy.
Yeah. Shout out to porn ads, man. I wonder if people really believe that shit.
Oh, like that you can
click the link to find single moms in your area.
Right, yeah. Somebody believe it for sure.
Somebody clicked it and their whole phone fucking got the virus on it.
One of those like OnlyFans subscription type of dudes.
Yeah,
they for sure clicking on
they falling for all of it. It's like, I've been looking for single moms, man.
Yeah. Like, bro, it's so easy. Back in my day, you used to have to talk to women.
Now I can just click. Oh, man.
That's crazy.
That's just pathetic. Anyways, switching gears. 73-year-old man waits 50 years to take revenge on his high school bully. This is a very sad story, but this is important to understand. God forgives, but people don't. And they never forget how you treated them. All right. 73-year-old man waited more than 50 years to carry out his revenge after being bullied in school. South Dakota man Carl Erickson was sentenced to life imprisonment when he pleaded guilty but mentally ill to the second-degree murder of his former classmate Norman Johnson. He admitted to shooting him twice in the face.
God dang.
Yeah, man.
How is that second-degree murder?
I don't know, man. Maybe for each bullet. The locker room incident that remained in Erickson's head for 50 years had driven him into severe depression. As teenagers, Norman Johnson was a sports star, and Carl Erickson was a student manager of high school sports team. Normal reportedly bullying him in the locker room and put an underwear strap over his head. The incident stayed in his subconscious for 50 years. Johnson went back on to become a retired teacher and track coach, and Erickson a businessman. Johnson's daughter Beth says Erickson was always jealous of him. They have not met for years, and it was just goofing around in the locker room. A first-degree murder charge could have resulted in the death penalty if the prosecutor had decided to pursue, but the deal was made. During his May arraignment, Erickson told the judge, I guess it was something that happened over 50 years ago. It was apparently in my subconscious. So basically, what had happened is this dude gave him a wedgie so horrible, he pulled his underwear through his pants and put it on his head.
Yeah.
Do you know how bad that has to hurt?
Yeah.
And do you know how tough those underwear had to be?
That's a good underwear commercial. Right
Yeah,
there.
like our underwear is so good you could get a fucking atomic wedgie and pull it over your forehead. God damn. Like,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, man. For anybody that's getting bullied, you can't just assume. How do I put this? You can't just assume that those people got over it, right? Because I've seen situations before and I'm like, you know what? This guy's not alone. I know people have done this. Like, I've seen a situation where a woman was with a guy, right? And the guy cheated on her, and then she left him and broke up with him. And whenever that guy's name comes up, she's just like, fuck him. He's an asshole. He cheated on me. Mind you, it could have been 16 years ago, 17 years ago. It doesn't matter. Like, that woman has a fixed image on her ex, right? And that guy's a piece of shit. Mind you, that guy probably matured, met another woman, married, had kids, and is still faithful. He probably found God, everything. But to her, that guy will always be a piece of shit. Because there's some women that got cheated on, and then he gets it right with the next woman, and they are just sick. I've seen that too, where like when he was with me, he just cheated on me. He was toxic, but then he meets this bitch, and now he's good now.
Yeah.
And it's like, instead of you focusing on what he's doing with the next woman, it's important for you to take that time to heal yourself, because if you don't, you're gonna be bitter forever.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's some woman somewhere that is literally pissed off at her high school boyfriend for cheating on her. And she's probably like my age, like 39 or 40.
Yeah, she got to get over it.
Yeah, we say that she got to get over it. I'm just giving out some like receipts that people don't get over things.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro.
But the thing about this case, like, I understand all of that. Like, you know, people hold on to these things, which is whatever. Like, I think people need to do some soul searching.
Yes.
And I'm not saying how you feel about it is not valid. I'm just saying, like, this man is in prison because somebody gave him a wedgie. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what it boils down to. And, you know, just like I was saying earlier, when I was in the thing, the way that the judge described and the DA described, like, the different degrees of murder and stuff like that, and murder versus self-defense, what probably ended up happening was he was able to plead, which reduced the amount of time that they were sitting in court and all that stuff. He probably pleaded to a lesser charge, like from first degree to second degree murder. He probably just pleaded guilty to that charge so that, you know, he can have like the lesser charge and they wouldn't have to go through the whole court case, which saves resources, money, and stuff like that. So that's probably why they gave him a lesser charge. But you get like the distinction, you know, basically if you're trying to say that it was self-defense, it has to be like concurrent, and it has to be justifiable, and it has to be like a reasonable means of like defending yourself, right? So if somebody punches you in your face, you can't shoot them. Or if somebody trips you, you can't stab them to death. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But if somebody is coming at you with a knife and you feel like your life is in danger, like imminent danger, meaning like happening in real time, then you can shoot that person or you can stab that person back. But if somebody trips you and then you go home and you think about it for like 2 days, you can't go and shoot that person now because your life is not in danger in that moment. So same thing with this person. Like I said, he is sitting in prison because he didn't have the ability to, get over a situation that happened when he was a kid. And now his whole life is just ruined.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he cared about his life, though. I think that when you make it to that age, he's an older guy. He's probably in his 70s. Mm-hmm. And now, you know, that torment is, you know, I wonder if this made him feel better. I wonder, like, you got it. Anybody with
probably momentarily.
Yeah, probably momentarily. But it's like, you know what? You pulled my fucking underwear over my head. You got to realize, too, not only did he get his underwear pulled over his head, it's not like if he was in a locker room by himself, there's no way that he pulls that guy's underwear over his head. There must have been like 50 or 60 kids watching this. Mm-hmm. And something like that can give you nightmares.
Yeah.
You know, over the years. But I think it goes back to what I said at the very beginning. God forgives, but people don't. Mm-hmm. If you know that you've wronged people in your past, You know, and if there's like an infinite number of people that you wrong, you better pray that nobody kills you, right? But if you can think like, hey, that's so and so, I used to pull his fucking underwear over his head. I know we're grown men, and you know, but I have to approach this situation and say, hey, man, I was foolish. I had no reason to be doing those things, and I want to apologize.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a big person to do that. You know, because I'll go back and apologize for stuff. I was never a bully or anything like that, but if we had like a disagreement and I may have came off somewhat disrespectful, I'll go back and I'll apologize.
You kind of I feel like that's the like being a grown up, you know, being able to understand that obviously time is important, but understanding that there are opportunities if you still breathing and the other person still breathing to kind of right your wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and me not in that same situation. Like I've never really bullied anybody.
Yeah.
But I remember I owed somebody money, you know, and it was a decent amount of money. Not like hundreds of dollars, but it was a decent amount of money. And I don't know if it just slipped my mind. Maybe I didn't have it at the time, whatever the case may be. But I just thought about it one day. I was like, dang, I didn't actually pay this person back, you know, so I just shot him the bread. And I had asked him, hey, did I actually give you the money I said I was going to give you? And they had forgot about it. So, you know, I was like, well, I don't remember giving it to you. And I checked through my little, you know, banking apps or whatever, the cash apps and stuff like that. And I didn't see nothing. So I just ended up shooting them the money.
Damn.
But yeah, so.
It takes like, I think that it takes a person, not only an honest person, but it takes a person where your subconscious killing you like, hey, wait a minute. I didn't fucking pay this person.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know, this, you know, that's the thing, man. That's why it's important to not leave a stone unturned, man. Mm-hmm. You got to go back and right your wrongs. Don't just float throughout life fucking people over.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't do that. Do not do that. Because you're gonna become the little boy that cried wolf, whereas basically, you are not really sorry. Actually, excuse me. You might actually be sorry now, but all the times you were having these offenses, you were not sorry, even if you even apologize.
Yeah.
But how is somebody supposed to take that apology serious if you are a repeat offender? It's better that you, one, not do the shit, and two, like genuinely apologize and change your behavior, bro. Yeah. Pulling atomic wedgie has got to be, man, that's got to hurt your nuts so bad.
Man. Yeah.
God damn, that's got to be bad.
He probably, the cool part about it, life is very cyclical, right? Like everything kind of, like we were in, where was we at? I forget where we were at. We were walking somewhere, and then there was like a baby, like a, you know, like a little toddler or something like that. And then there was like a older, like probably somebody in their 80s or something like that. And both of them needed help, like walking into, I don't know, we might have been going into a restaurant or a hotel or something, but both of them needed help. Like they needed assistance walking by like the daughter or the middle-aged person that was in the situation. And it just reminded me like everything is like circular. You kind of start out like getting your diaper changed and then, you know, God forbid, but sometimes it happens where, you know, you become an adult and you wearing Depends or somebody need to, you know, assist you with cleaning yourself. And
I don't think that's going to be a problem in the future, though. I think that we're going to make it to the point where they're going to start having ass wiping robots.
That'd be cool.
They'll be like, you need to wipe your ass.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, please. And then the robot start wiping your ass all rough.
Yeah. But my point was is that he's probably going to be in prison and there's going to be a nigga in there giving him a wedgie.
Oh, man.
It's like you did all of that only to end up in the same spot. It may be worse than a wedgie, you know, so.
Yeah, I think that we have to understand that time doesn't resolve issues. Like the issue is not resolved until you actually sit there and articulate what you're sorry about. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just like, you know, people saying like, that was so long ago, you know, that was so long ago. You can't, that's not it. Like like an offense plus time is not a resolution. Mm-hmm. Right. So you can't do that. But yeah, there's that, man. Rest in peace to that dude. But I think he's probably, I don't know where he's at. I don't know how bad, depending on how bad the wedgie is, he might be in hell. You know, because the underwear technology was not great back then. All they had was tighty whities. Because can you imagine them tight ass draws just yanking up your butt, going over your fucking head? Your nuts are killing you. Because you got to imagine that there's no way they stretched that great back then.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's tragic.
Poor
dog.
guy.
He had a headband and underwear.
This is many years before dry fit material. So this guy had just old school cotton draws, tidy whities.
Fruit of the looms.
Yeah, man. Do you know there's some fucking grown men still wearing tidy whities, man?
Yeah.
When you go to the underwear section at Walmart, they sell them, dude.
When you go to the gym.
Huh?
So when you be in the, you be in the locker room, you go in and use the bathroom or taking a shower or whatever. It'd be still some old men walking through with the.
Oh, that's their style, man.
Yeah.
Old men wearing tidy whities is like they car with white walls on them.
I'm dead.
You know? Like when you know it's a fucking old person when you see the tires and they got white walls on it, it's like, yeah, this is an old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They kept the car clean.
Yeah, that guy still has asbestos on his house. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, switching gears. Michigan woman faces up to 10 years behind bars for allegedly using food assistance for baked goods sold online. Okay, before I even read this, man, it's just heartbreaking, and the reason why is the poor get held accountable when they're trying to better themselves. She's using the items that she bought with her EBT card to create like money for a bake sale. And she's getting arrested. She could face up to 10 years for this. But how many times have we watched major companies and conglomerates get bailed out? They call it a bailout whenever these companies need help. But when the American people are struggling and they're trying to get a leg up in society, they call it theft.
Right.
That is just fucking disgusting. Like the middle class, this poor and middle class are getting fleeced in the United States. And when I read these articles, it makes me so mad. All right. A Michigan woman faces up to 10 years behind bars for allegedly using food assistance for baked goods sold online. A Michigan woman may face a trial and up to 10 years in prison after allegedly using her state-issued food assistance card to fund an online bakery business. On Thursday, October 9th, Talia Tanike, 32, has been accused of using her food stamps to purchase baking supplies and earning over $1,000 in profits from the baked goods. So hold on, before I keep reading, are you more mad because you guys didn't get a cut of the money? Is that what the problem is? Like, what the fuck is up, man? Why are you nickel and diming people that are already poor? Stop. Please stop. Anyways, earning over $1,000 profits from the baked goods appeared in a preliminary hearing before Saginaw County District Judge Judge Terry Clark, who moved the case to circuit court. And then during the preliminary hearing, Tanike rejected a plea deal that would have prevented her from having a conviction on her record. Prosecutors alleged that January 2022 to September 2023, Tanike used her bridge card, part of Michigan's supplemental food program run by the Department of Health and Human Services, to buy ingredients for baked goods she later sold on Facebook, according to them. Oh my God. According to them, she misused over $20,000 in funds. Holy shit. What? I still think that's nickel and diamond though.
Yeah.
It says she misused over $20,000 in funds. The Michigan Office of Inspector General investigated the alleged misconduct, and after a warrant for her arrest was issued June, police arrested her. She was charged with 1 count of food stamp fraud and released the same day on $50,000 bond. Damn. I mean, she was selling a lot of baked goods, then she would bounded herself out. Her charge, if convicted, is punishable by up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Oh my God. I just don't agree with this, dude. I'm sorry. Give it a slap on the wrist, man, and let her out. Yeah, this is the problem with the judicial system is, they get people in for welfare fraud and all of this. And it's like, it could be like they could have got her in for conspiracy for, for welfare fraud or whatever, and then say, hey, you can't do this. But I just have a question. Why can't you? Is she not buying food?
Yeah, I mean, it is illegal. I would say that. So I think that, we do have to understand that, like, and I'm not saying she's guilty. I'm just saying, like, with the law, when you get your EBT, they basically tell you, it's for you to use. It's for you to, consume food. Don't sell this to other people. Don't, and I don't know if it ever explicitly said not to, like, use it in a way where you're like making money off of it. But
Yeah.
I would imagine that's kind of the under the guidelines of not selling your food stamps and stuff
Yeah.
like that, or not allowing anyone else to use it. That's what I would say. But I will say also, I think the law is it is a little dumb, but I do understand it because, you know, these are our money, like our tax paying dollars that are going to assist people. And then, you know, people are essentially, you know, using it to like fund a business. So it can get a little tricky. So I understand it. But I also have empathy for somebody that's like, this is the same like conversation like a guy like Jay-Z would have, where you're turning like drug money into like a legitimate business, and then eventually you stop selling drugs, and then you just funding your business through, you know, through just the money you make.
She didn't get a chance to make it there.
Yeah, and I think she's kind of doing something, you know, similar. And I'm not gonna front. Like there was a certain point where I was, you know, like a particular point in my life where I had, you know, some different e-commerce things going on, and I was using like trying to transition from, you know, receiving government assistance to doing it legitimate and things like that. And I kind of, you know, mixed up some resources in a similar fashion. And I think that it's just like people with with business acumen trying to leverage the resources that they have. You know what I mean? I think she is technically doing something illegal, but like in my heart, that's a stupid reason to arrest somebody because she not selling drugs. She not killing people. She not out here, you know, like prostituting or whatever the case may be. She got a legitimate business that she trying to run, and she not hurting nobody. And I'm sure a bunch of people like her goods and stuff like that.
Here's my biggest issue with this is they want to crack down on poor people. I don't think people realize how painful it is to be poor, because when I had food stamps when I was a kid, I had the food stamp, like the actual food stamp, the money stamps, right? They came in the book. And we would take like $1 and we would, and I would get, because basically you could get change back if you bought something for a quarter.
That's OG food stamp fraud.
Oh yeah, that's an OG food stamp fraud. And I remember back in the day we used to go to Chester Lane Market.
Yeah.
And across the street is that same 7-Eleven that's been there for over 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
We would go into 7-Eleven, we get a quarter like bag of chips, and then we would get 75 cents back. Then we go to Chester Lane and we get a bag of chips and we get 75 cents back. Then we go back to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And then we do that. And then by the third time, they're like, why do you stop doing it? Stop doing this. Or you're doing something. And we like, oh, I didn't know, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we would do that just to get money. That's how poor we were.
Real money, yeah.
So I'm just trying to give you an idea of what it means or how, you know, what people go through. Also, I'll say this. It's easy to crack down on a woman buying baked goods trying to make a better life for herself. But you motherfuckers, you got to have power to be fraudulent. You know, that's the thing. Whether it's taxes, whatever it is. You know, you got guys like Mayor Adams that's paying for pussy, but what he's doing is he hired somebody for a position that nobody really knows what the fuck it is. And then it was a no-show job. She never had to show up and be anybody. He was giving her like almost $200,000 just because he was buying pussy.
Yeah.
And all I'm saying is this. They get away with all this great corruption, but you're worried about the fucking person making baked goods and you want to crack down on them? How about you bust down all those politicians paying for pussy? How about you fucking all those motherfuckers doing insider trading?
I get what you're saying, but I think that a lot of that stuff is just like, it doesn't, it's like it doesn't help her is what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't.
I think that focusing on what she's going through, what I would say is that, one, I would like to know how she got caught. Like,
Somebody probably hated on her.
Who is the person that reported this? Or I don't know, maybe there was like certain transactions. She might have been going to Smart and Finals and buying
Probably a
like
caseworker that could have did it too.
bulk, yeah, maybe something like that. Or, you know, they interview you as well, and they're asking you like how much money you're making and stuff like that. So that could have kind of alerted them. They ask you for your bank account and stuff like that. So that might have been a thing. And if they realized she was making like 50 racks, you probably would have timed yourself out.
Here's where they got her.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
But I also think that instead of her getting in like real trouble, and maybe it is illegal, so if that's the law is the law, and the judge is the one that kind of defines what, the law is, but the judge is also the one that's giving out the sentence. So if I'm that judge, and if she did something illegal, I'm not going to not, the jury is the one that's going to define if she's guilty or not, right?
Right.
But if I'm the judge and she is guilty, what I'm probably going to do is give you like a slap on the wrist.
Community
but I'm
service.
going to give you, like, like probation or whatever. And then I'm going to make you do like some business classes or something like that. The same way they make, people that drive drinking and driving, or people that have like, crazy traffic tickets, they have to do traffic school. I'm doing the same thing, like what do you call it? Like a mandatory business class or something like that. You got, if it's in Bakersfield, you got to go to BC and take this business 101 class so you can learn how to get an LLC and learn how to get like loans and learn how to get government grants and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna send you on your way, because you're not hurting the community, So that's what I think.
Yeah. My thing is, though, when I mentioned it, you said it doesn't help the situation. I agree with that. However, they talk basically it's, it's our taxpayer money from, her not properly reporting or not reporting income, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it's also our tax money when he's paying for pussy with it. So the difference is this. People that don't have power can't be fraudulent. That is the bottom line. If you do not have power, you cannot be fraudulent. You got to have some type of status, be a politician, have a lot of money to do it. Otherwise, you don't have the money to defend yourself, and you don't have the business acumen to protect yourself. See, the thing about it too is like, imagine if somebody else was the face of the company and the LLC like had nothing to do with her, but she was providing all the baked goods, she would have never got caught. Because the thing about it with the welfare system is it's being counted as unreported money. So whenever you get food stamps, you got to report to them how much money you're making. Mm-hmm. I remember the craziest thing to me is back in 2008. 2008, I got fired from my job. I was working as a lab tech at a plasma center at Biomat. Shout out to Biomat. Mm-hmm. But I was working as a lab tech, and I got fired from the job. And I was like, fuck. And then the same day I drove to the welfare office, I told them, hey, I just got fired. I'm just looking to just get some, either cash aid or food stamps, one of them. Mm-hmm. And, I'm currently unemployed. And they literally denied me because they asked me, do you have a vehicle? I said, yes. They said, do you own that vehicle? And I was like, well, I'm still doing payments on it right now. And they basically, because I had a place to stay and I had a car, I was denied. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
They basically are setting up people to have to lie to get food stamps anyways.
Yeah, or have a lot of kids.
Yeah,
got a lot of kids. It's usually easier to get food stamps.
Another thing, and we'll move on from here in a second. Well, another thing I don't like too is that people talk about welfare abuse, and they're abusing the system, and they're doing this and they're doing that, right? Bro, it doesn't matter how many people that are committing welfare fraud. It will never compare to the mega rich people. Did you know that 10% of people control 67% of the overall wealth?
Yeah.
That's pathetic. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me about the motherfucking nickel and dime in the government. The guy that's getting a $500 welfare check. Don't tell me about him. Tell me about that motherfucker that's worth $70 billion. Mm-hmm. That's finding more ways. Tell me about like BlackRock and all these other people that are buying up all these houses and all these properties. It's ridiculous. And the fact that we have to talk about somebody selling baked goods and committing a crime when there's so much more sinister things at play. Yeah, and ironically enough, I posted a thing today about a woman. She was saying, back, damn, was that your stomach? God damn, was the water?
Yeah.
This Keith, man, you're a repeat offender with that, buddy.
I even have an acid reflux.
Oh man, yeah. But anyway, to make a long story short, the lady mentioned that over a span of 100 years, there was only like 10 billionaires. In like 1982, there was only like a total of 10 to 13 billionaires that existed.
Yeah.
And then you go from there to like the 90s, and the number went from like 10 to like 13 or something. Mm-hmm. And then now the number is over 3,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, what the fuck happened? Like,
Yeah.
it's a problem when Kim Kardashian got to be on her name and Kanye West got to be on their name.
That's a pro. What's wrong with that?
Because there's way too many billionaires. It's so lopsided. Like, in over 100 years, it was only 10 to 13. Now there's over 3,000.
Yeah. I mean, you got to account for inflation and stuff like that as well.
If this is, man, I just honestly think that's bullshit.
100 years of inflation is going to, I mean, same thing. I mean, for me, if I had my salary in, what's that, 1930?
Yeah, but they said, they already did the scale. It's not keeping up with the GDP. Like, basically, it should, the median income was like 71,000, right? But it should be like 150,000.
In 1930, the
No,
median income.
not in 19. I'm talking about now.
Now it's 71.
It's 70. It should be 150 to keep up with the GDP, but it's not. And so they've done side by sides of where the economy was and what people were supposed to be making, and it's super lopsided, man.
Yeah,
and especially a person in the middle class in the 90s lived like a king. Like the middle class was something to brag about. Like, it's even if you go back further in the 60s, 70s, whatever, right? They show, like, the 1964 Impala. I seen like ads of people driving to 1964, 65 Impala.
That's not what I'm saying though. GDP and inflation is two different things. What I'm saying is that inflation is just like the value of the dollar, essentially. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that the inflation in 100 years has gone crazy. That the inflation is the reason why the value of the dollar has went down. And that's why the middle class looks a little different and why you have to make so much money to have that type of lifestyle. So the inflation is partially the reason why there are more billionaires in the world because, the value of the dollar is different.
Yeah, the value of the dollar may be different, but it's kind of hard to explain to a millennial that has lived through two completely different times, where you remember as a poor kid going into a store and seeing a 99-cent bag of chips and you had $1 and you could afford it. When you had, I'm speaking in layman's terms. I don't give a fuck about, we're printing more money and then, no, fuck all that. When you're poor and the market crashes, nothing changes for you because your life already crashed. Nothing changes for you. You're poor already. And now I feel horrible for poor people. There's no outlets for them. There's no 99-cent only stores anymore. There's the Dollar General don't really got anything for $1 in general. Like it's like this shit is bad. And if you're a person that's living in poverty now, you are further away from getting ahead than any time in American history. It's bad. It's bad whenever you make decent money and you still you feel the effects of what's going on. Yeah. It's like, God damn, like how much money do I need to make? Do I need to make about 150,000? What do I need to make? If you make anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 in this current climate, you're doing better than most people, but you are, I'm not going to say poor on a different level or struggling on a different level, but you're like literally making it at a different level. Yeah. There's some people that's making $110,000 a year, and they are paycheck to paycheck, sir.
But that it's so much factors in there. You can't really, the cost of their house. Yeah. Do they have a car note or not? Like
multiple cars.
Yeah, insurance and things like that. Children. So there's a lot of factors involved.
There's a lot of factors involved, and the other factors too which is hard to explain is why was it that a lot of people in the 90s could survive off of one income, and a lot of mothers got to literally be stay-at-home moms. It was a real thing. Yeah. Nowadays it's a lot of women like, I'm not going 50-50 with nobody. Baby girl, this is not 1990. This is 2025. If you can't be a helpmate, your household's gonna struggle. Like, if a guy can pay the bills in the house, that's great. That's great. I think that's a blessed position. But if he can pay, and he's gonna feel it big time, because the cost of everything is crazy, and you got to think of all the things we pay for monthly, like life insurance, health insurance, gas, car insurance, motherfucking mortgage or rent, phone bills, food. It goes on and on and on. If you really looked at everything you pay for, and even let's just add streaming services on there too. Let's add let's add electric. Let's add all that stuff on. man, if you look at all the stuff that's being debited out of your account, you like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how did I spend $1,600 in like 2 minutes?
Yeah, life is expensive. I also think those girls are single for a reason. Because, yeah.
Hey man, and me personally, my thing is I don't want to even go through all of that because it's just like an oversaturated topic with the whole 50-50 conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind as a man paying 80%. But if you think I'm gonna, like, you could provide for a woman without paying all her bills. Like, I feel like provision is a lot deeper than just money, right? There could be a guy that's paying all your bills, but he call you a bitch every day. And he don't respect you. He don't love you. He don't value you. But well, are you going to stay in that relationship because he paying all your bills now?
Yeah.
Right?
But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you get married, like, your resources are combined. You know what I mean? I think that's like that's like a Tinder conversation. You know what I mean? That's something people would put in a bio. Like, I think anybody that's married would understand. Like, that's not really how it works.
No.
And I also feel like any woman of value doesn't just want to sit home and have their husband like why would you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody that doesn't have no goals in life?
Ouch. Yeah,
that just doesn't really make sense to me.
That's
like social. That's like the attractive Instagram girls. Like, that's the stuff that they say while they're talking to the camera. Like, but that's not like a real.
No.
Like, no one is like proposing to that woman. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
They might want to have sex with her because she's attractive, but
yeah,
I don't think they want to spend the rest of their life with somebody that's like, you know. Even that conversation is just kind of nonsense.
It's nonsense. And the reason why it's nonsense is for one main reason, too, is I don't have those demands of women. I don't say a woman should be cooking and cleaning, and she should be at home, and she should be doing my laundry. And I don't have that. But that's the female version of the male. It's like female patriarchy almost. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't have these fixed ideas of what women should be doing or vice versa. Mm-hmm. I think if you're a person that's like somewhat mentally healthy, or you respect the opposite sex, you can't be having expectations and demands from people you don't fucking know.
Right.
Because I've had like a conversation.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I've had a conversation and she was like, well, it'll be some girls that'll be like, I'm just letting you off. What do you think about 50-50? Because personally, I don't think women should pay for anything. And it's like, girl, like, you are on the internet too much.
Right.
This conversation is not going anywhere.
I think also, like, any guy that I know that pays all the bills, like, I know a few people in that situation where they, like, their wife is not working currently. It's usually different circumstances. I know one guy where his wife is trying to find a job, and she just, is rough out there. She got a college degree, everything, and she's had a few interviews, and it just hasn't really worked out for her. But he's not complaining about paying the bills. He's just like, dang, man, like, it's, we just got to buckle down on some of the spending. And then other situations where you got the wife taking care of either the children or taking care of, like, their parents, or taking care of, like, their grandparents may be, not the healthiest, so they got to take care. Like, those type of situations, like, just caring type of situations. And that's just how life works. So I feel like that's why I say, like, those are conversations people have, like, that don't really have the real experience. Like, they're having that experience in dating terms, but they don't realize, like, when you get into, like, a real legitimate relationship, that, like, life brings on whatever it brings on.
Absolutely.
So it might be a situation where, your parents been married for X amount of years, and then your dad passed away and your mom got to move in with you.
Yeah.
And, like, it's too many circumstances for people to try to put limitations on, and vice versa. Like, sometimes it'd be a situation where the guy loses. I know situations like that, and it's not comfortable for people, and they wish the circumstances were different. But I know people that are married where the wife is bringing in all the bread, and they, taking care of everything, and it's not an ideal situation, but it is what it is. So, like, you can't really go into life expecting to be a long-term relationship with somebody, putting these 50-50 limitations on how you paying the bills, because what happens if you talked about what if, your partner passed away or whatever, like you want somebody to be able to hold it down, like Vanessa Bryant and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, like same thing happens like if they are alive but they lose their job, or they are alive and they get fired, or the technology that they were skilled in is like antiquated and they
There you go.
get pushed out of the industry.
There you
It's
go.
like, you got to be able to stick with that person through all of that and try to help them maneuver into their next phase of their life.
It could go either way. Like, you could be married to this extremely smart, amazing woman that's been doing this job for 25 years, and AI pushes her out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing comparable for her to have at that moment. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just going to take care of everything, you know? And granted, as a man, you want to be in that position. But it's like, I also, as a man, don't want to feel like my existence in that situation is like based off of me providing.
Yeah.
Because the moment that I lose my job, like, do I lose you too? Like, do I got to worry about you just being like, running off on me when I fall apart?
Yeah.
Because it sucks, man. But finances, I feel like unfortunately, a lot of relationships today are very transactional. Where it's men, it's like, hey, I'd rather just pay for pussy. And then it's women, it's like, hey, I'll be with you, but you got to pay my bills. And it's like, we can't do this. Like, that's not okay, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if people really reference the reality of how things are, like the amount of people that live paycheck to paycheck, and the reality of people that it would be better for them to piece up and like pay stuff together, like if I'm in a good position and I meet a girl and like, let's say her credit's really fucked up, I could help her pay her credit off. Right. And then she could turn around and help me do whatever it is. And we just piece up and then we come up together.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like, you want my whole paycheck, man?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to buy Dodgers tickets, man?
Yeah. And I think also, like, I always say this, like, if you're not paying any bills, and maybe, like, if you do have a job, let's say that the woman does have a job and, she has a desire to work. If you're not paying for anything in the household, like, then what are you doing with your money? Because at the end of the day, you should want a partner that you can build with. Like maybe y'all buy some properties together, or start a business, get a rental property, or invest your money into the stock market or something like that. But if the woman is literally just buying clothes and stuff with her, or traveling with her money, while the guy is the one paying all the bills, it just, I don't know, logistically, it just doesn't really make sense, especially in 2025. It just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, man.
And they trying to compare like their life with like the 1930s, when the woman was like the home, like the stay-at-home mom.
Y'all can't cook that good no more, man.
Yeah. Them TikTok recipes don't be cutting it in the real world.
I seen the biscuits y'all make, man. That shit don't be hidden like that no more.
Yeah.
You want me to pay these bills? You better get in there and make some better biscuits, goddammit.
You want me to pay these bills? You better make some better meals.
Oh, damn. That was a bar. Reverend Keith.
That was funny.
All right, let's wrap it up, man. Switching gears. Brewers fan. I'm pretty sure all you guys seen this. Shout out to my Dodgers, going right back to the World Series, by the way. But Brewers fan fired after threatening to call ice on the Dodgers fan at the NLCS game.
God dang.
Yeah, it was really bad, man. We made it to a very strange time. Brewers fan fired. It is here. Shannon, goddamn, her last name is very difficult to read, but who cares? She's a racist. Shannon Kolbazark, a Brewers fan who said, let's call ice on a Latino fan at Game 2 of the National Championship Series, has been fired from her job. According to the Milwaukee Journal, Kolbazarki, or whatever, who worked for Manpower Group, also resigned from her role on the Make-A-Wish Wisconsin Board of Directors. The outlet added, the incident unfolded Tuesday night when Ricardo Fasano, a Los Angeles resident on a business trip to Chicago, according to the Journal Sentinel, started recording a video and asked, why is everybody so quiet? Right? He's just being a fan. And real men drink beer, pussy. That's what she told him. No, drink beer, pussy, shouted before Fasano asked again, why Brewers fans so quiet? And she said, you know what? Kolbazark said while tapping on the shoulder of another Milwaukee fan in front of her, call ICE, referring to the United Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Dang.
Yeah. Call ICE, Fasano repeated back as he continued to recording the video that circulated online. Call ICE. I'm a U.S. citizen, war veteran, baby, veteran 2 wars. Actually, there's a video here. So yeah, I should have just played that too, and then explained. But here's a video.
Why is everybody quiet? Why is everybody quiet? Why is it? Oh, why is everybody quiet? What is this? I'm sorry.
You know what? Let's call ICE.
Call ICE. Call ICE. I'm a U.S. citizen. War veteran, baby girl. War veteran. 2 wars. ICE is not going to do nothing to me. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Call ICE. Call him. Call him. Idiot.
Yeah, I think that the moment he said he was a war veteran, 2 wars, you know, it should have been an apology. It should have been an immediate look, hey, I'm sorry. I was just, you know, whatever. But this man fought in 2 wars for this country that's an American citizen, and you want to call ICE on him just because you lost a fucking baseball game. I guess the freaking, what do you call that? The third level of grief is racism. Because you was getting your ass whooped.
What is that?
What is that? A fly?
I don't know. It'd be all kinds.
I don't know what's going on with these insects here, but they don't pay the rent at this fucking office. They need to get out now. We had like a little gecko in here one day.
Yeah.
And then we had a humongous roach in here.
The gecko was trying to help me save money on my car insurance.
He's like, hey, niggas, save money on Geico. He's like, oh, man, we're doing a podcast right now, bro. Nigga trying to be a third mic on here. Yeah, I think if all it takes is a little frustration for you to say something that distasteful, it's very telling of what you already subscribe to, right? Mm-hmm. And it's sad. Like him just being Hispanic is enough for you to call ICE on him. It's like, all right, man.
That's you know, kind of going back to what I learned in court when the judge says that, you know, like the difference between murder and self-defense, like it has to be justifiable and reasonable and imminent, right? So if someone says like, why are you all quiet and you're at a baseball game, it's fair game to be like, oh, it's good. It's good. We'll get y'all next time. Don't worry about it. Like, you know, that type of thing. But it's not fair game to make a racist comment like that. You know what I mean? So I just think that when it comes to these situations, I think that people don't have the composure or the emotional intelligence to understand that, like, this is just trash talk. Like, bringing ICE into the situation is bringing a whole different level of racism into the situation. And then you look stupid when you're talking to a U.S. citizen. Like, just because a person is Latino or Hispanic, like, that don't mean that they are not a citizen. And that's like what these like racist people get caught up in, you know, like what they see on TV. So I'm glad that she lost her job. I think that something Nipsey Hussle said years ago, but I think it had a broader context to it now in 2025. When he said gang banging is dead, I think that he obviously meant like gang members doing criminal activity and stuff like that. But when we talking about like 2025, now we record everything with our phones.
Yes.
You know, we recording in the classroom, the teachers going off on people. We recording baseball games, like people arguing. We recording arguments between our spouses and all kind of stuff. So all of this stuff is hitting the internet, and people that are saying wild stuff are losing their job outside on your day off. You know, like Craig, this is crazy. So
yeah, she's at the Make-A-Wish Foundation telling people to call ICE.
Yeah,
like you got to realize too, a lot of these people that do this, I don't know why they don't. I don't know why they don't get it. Mm-hmm. Because the thing about it is, your company will get rid of you for liability purposes. They don't want to be involved. Like, imagine you just some dickhead at a baseball game and you grab a woman's booty. She's like, hey, you grabbed my ass, you fucking asshole. And he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. And then they say somebody, and then all they got to do is go on TikTok. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who knows this guy? Somebody's going to say, hey,
fast. Yeah,
that's my coworker. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to contact the construction company or whatever else. And since that company does not want to be bothered, even if they're not liable to be sued, they have nothing to do with his actions outside of their job. but it's a moral problem. You don't align with their morals as a company,
Right.
so it's better for them to trim the fat and get you the fuck out of there. Mm-hmm. Y'all be acting like you got control, homie. You don't got control.
Yeah.
You could be working at Pizza Hut and you flip somebody off and call them the N-word, right? And you just drive off and they're like, who is that guy? Does anybody know this person? They'll be like, yeah, he works at Pizza Hut, man. I work with him. And then all of a sudden and then it'd be like, when 900 people attacking Pizza Hut, it's going to get their attention.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
They're going to do
I
their
don't
research.
think it's okay to, what do you call that when you dox somebody? Like, this is different. Like, if you dox somebody, you giving up personal information.
Right.
That ain't cool.
But when you go through like the proper channels, like, hey, Wells Fargo, this employee, is out here at the baseball game saying racist stuff, or
A woman just got exposed recently for, I guess she had mentioned that she's doing DoorDash, and DoorDash deactivated her account after she reported like SA, right? Mm-hmm. She basically said like she went to the door and the dude was like naked and his junk was out or whatever like that, but he was like passed out. But to make a long story short, I guess they went back onto the story, and instead of just like leaving after she seen it, she like opened the door, and the dude he did nothing to her. At the most, it was indecent exposure, but the story is making its rounds on the internet right now too. And
so
yeah.
she was supposed to just drop the food off and he was
He was
passed
in there.
out.
Yeah, apparently he must have been inebriated, and I guess he was naked.
Yeah.
And
She trying to make it sound like he
Yeah.
did something wrong, or like, not that he did not do anything wrong, but like she made it worse than it really was.
Okay, let's see here. It's popping up right now. DoorDash girl, essay video, TikTok debating controversy. Hold on. Proof she didn't walk into the man's home. There's all kind of conflicting things right now. So we'll probably have to come back to this later. Mm-hmm. But they deactivated her account. Mm-hmm. Right. Anyways. Yeah, man. Don't be racist, man. All right. Actually, no. Please be racist.
Yeah, that we clean all these people
Yeah,
up.
we'll get, because the thing about it is, if you're driving by and you're like, fuck you, you whatever, right? And I look at the side of your car and it has the name of your company on it, right? It's like, hey, don't go to this company.
Yeah.
This is the video of the guy calling me an N-word on Tuesday for no reason. This guy cut me off and I said, hey, is everything all right? And then, there was a dude actually last week, I was doing laundry and I was taking my work clothes and cleaning them up. And I was parked like,
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Did it pull it up?
Yeah. I don't know if this is the girl. This is DoorDash response to the Dasher claiming her account was deactivated after sharing a customer allegedly sexually assaulted her.
Yep.
DoorDash says they deactivated both their accounts because the Dasher violated privacy policy. And then it says, I think this is the girl talking about it. It says,
Yes.
We've seen some tough and sensitive posts over the past few days and we want to clear the air. No one should ever have to experience sexual assault, harassment, or abuse, and DoorDash never deactivates someone for reporting it, full stop. We take these reports incredibly seriously, and we work closely with law enforcement to investigate and support those affected. In this case, the Dasher let us know about an experience that made them feel uncomfortable, and that's exactly what we always want Dashers to do. Our team immediately began investigating and have been in direct contact with the law enforcement and is prepared to fully support any of their efforts. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies. That is the sole reason that this Dasher's account was deactivated along with the customers. While we investigate, we've also ensured that the Dasher has full access to their earnings. We know that we know these are sensitive situations, and we want every Dasher to know if you ever feel unsafe or experience something concerning, come to us. We're here to listen, act, and support. So essentially, she got her thing deactivated because she posted a video.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like with this internet age, people think that everything is for the internet.
Yeah,
and they're trying to get a moment for it, especially if I'm sure that's the reason why they have clear guidelines. And most people don't read them. They just click accept and then they, try to start making money. But Yeah, if I'm on DoorDash's side, like if you exposing somebody and you also that makes DoorDash look bad, you know.
Absolutely.
If you kind of posting it in the name of DoorDash, like yeah.
Yeah, not to mention, she was like, that's the only way I pay my bills and this and that. I think if this is the only way you pay your bills, you have to be more protective and you have to be a little more forward thinking than that. You can't get on the internet and say, I'm just going to tell them what's going on. It's like, no, you need to wait.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your only form of employment, this is not, I'm going to tell you this much right now. This is not the economy for you to not have a job.
Right.
This is not the, unless you got some fancy backup plan, you don't got to kiss anybody's ass, but you need to be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very particular about how you report these things, and you need to keep it off of the internet. Keep it off the internet, man. Yep. But I've got nothing else to offer, Keith.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else from Keith then.
Yeah, man.
She'll
figure it out. I think that's the thing in life, you know, as we talked about earlier. When you make decisions, there's consequences to all the decisions that we make. And I think sometimes if you directly violate whatever it is, it could be a stupid law like selling your food stamps or making money off your food stamps, or it can be a murder trial or robbery or whatever. All of these decisions that we make have consequences. And I feel like if you're not moving with like good intentions, which I don't think she was moving in good intentions, like, because if you are moving with good intentions, you're going to call the police or you're going to call DoorDash support or whomever may be. But you're trying to make a viral moment out of like somebody that's inebriated, like, I think you're getting what you deserve.
Yeah. You know what I've seen too? And it's not exactly illegal, but it's, whatever. I've seen people like eating while they're in the store. Like I seen this one dude eating a rotisserie chicken. He was eating it crazy. Like he was walking around like getting stuff, but he was like eating the chicken drums and eating all that. And then he just walked out the store. He puts the cart back in the store and he just walked off.
No.
He probably was like so hungry that he just came up, but the roasted chicken, he just put it back. I was like, oh my God.
He put it back on the little...
No, he didn't put it back where the heat thing was. He just left it in the aisle. After he ate like 40% of it.
Dang.
I'm like, damn, bro. Times is tough. I've never seen this many shoplifters in my life.
Yeah.
You'll be in the grocery store, you hear, rear, 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 like the little alarm in the back.
Yeah. They run outside like they're going to do something, but they just let them run.
Yeah, there was a time where the theft was so crazy. I know that there was a back door. It's like an emergency door. And by law, they have to have that emergency door open. They cannot lock it. And that's the real thieves, they know that.
Like fire hazards.
Yeah, it's a fire hazard if it's locked. In case there's like a fire, all the people should have a way to get out of the store with quick access to the back. So I remember this dude, it was this dude that walked in the store and I could just look at him and it was like, I kind of profiled, I'm not going to lie.
For sure.
I was like, this guy looks like he's up to something. Right?
Sometimes you're right. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's what police say.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's a good nigga, but maybe the next one won't.
Yeah, I knew he was a good black because he plays football with my son. He's a collegiate athlete. I knew he's one of the good ones.
He's one of the good ones.
But this guy here,
he's good hands.
This guy definitely's got some crack on him over here. Yeah. At Vons, this dude had a grocery cart full of stuff. Like it was just overloaded.
Like you knew he wasn't paying for it.
Yeah, you knew he wasn't paying for it. You knew he wasn't. He just, it looked like he was stocking up just to steal. And I don't know what car he was in, but like they must have had it set up. But the loss prevention had came out and chased him. And I'm gonna say this before I get out of here. You shouldn't be chasing none of these people that are stealing. It's not worth your job. It's not worth your life, bro. I remember the funniest time I went out. We had to. This is a Sears. So this is 2007. We had loss prevention people at our job, right? These two girls. And it was a man and his girl that was stealing from the store, right? And they started running out the store. And he was like, hey, come help us. And we was like, fuck. So me and this dude, Robert, we started jogging out there. We had no intention of like doing anything. But I was mad because the fucking girl and the dude ran so slow that we was jogging, catching them. And I was like, God damn it, man, fuck. So then when the girl got away, she ran across the street and then she like ran into the freeway, right? I don't know why the fuck but she ran onto the ramp. I guess she was we're gonna cut through the freeway, whatever. So she ran off, but they got the dude. And when the loss prevention grabbed him, and he started like, "Get off me, bitch! Fucking stop!" And that's when I had to step in. I was like, "Hey, dog, don't do that. Just come with us, bro. We don't want to make this any more difficult than what it is."
Yeah.
And then the whole time he was just bitching it up, like, "I don't give a fuck, bitch. Fuck you. I don't care. I don't care." And she's like,
people
"Bro,
do that when they get arrested or like in trouble. They try to make it like they're like the person arresting them is wrong.
yeah." And then he's like, you got all these fucking people to stop me and shit. Like, you fucking bitch. I don't care. I don't care. And I was just like, oh my god,
Take that security guard uniform off. See me outside.
I'm just like, bro. First of all, stealing for you is a bad move because you are so unathletic that I jogged up there.
That's sad.
Yeah, like, bro, you're too lazy to be stealing anything.
Yeah.
You need to get a job being a full-time lazy motherfucker. That's what you should do.
Right.
You need to find a job where you have limited, like, it takes limited skills.
Right.
Like, you should get a job like making buttons on a T-shirt or something.
What I will say too is like there are people that have like a rough life.
Right.
Like certain circumstances where they kind of got to resort to, selling drugs or whatever the case may be. But I will say I think 95% of people have an actual choice.
Absolutely.
And most criminals are just making the wrong choice.
There were some times I had to correct my dad, bro, because, there's things where me and my dad are aligned. There's a lot of ways me and him are very different. I remember we went to the store, and we didn't have a lot of money, but we got some stuff there. We were going home, and then he pulled a pack of salami and some cheese and stuff out of his pockets. And I was like, "You stole that? Like, why would you do that?" And he was like, "Shit, I had to get some extra stuff, man." I was like, "Man, you didn't have to steal that meat.
Right.
You didn't have to steal the meat." And he was like, almost like, "Do you a goody two shoes?" I'm like, "No, I just don't fucking steal."
Yeah, I'm not a criminal.
Yeah, I've stolen before. Let's not get it twisted. But that's not like it's not in my daily DNA to do this.
Right. Yeah.
I don't got a bunch of glue stuck to my hand taking stuff.
Yeah.
You remember that part? I think it was in Home Alone, where they put like glue on his hand and he like he was stealing a bunch of change or something. Oh dang! It'll come to me. Anyways. All right. Well, it looks like we made it to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
If you made it to the end of this episode, we appreciate you. Thank you for listening to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're out of here.
Peace.